Hi, I'm Gary White for Central Kentucky Television. I'm here with Lizzie Spalding at the Marion County Extension Office, and it's the holiday season, so we're going to try and help you make a more healthy version of a holiday staple, right?
Right. Like he said, during the holidays, we all like those main dishes and the appetizers and the desserts, and they're usually not the healthiest for us. So I did a class here at the office, and ladies had requested a class on appetizers, and I thought, well, I can do that, but you know they're going to have to be healthy. So I actually found a recipe, and I stole it from the North Carolina Extension webpage, and it's for spinach artichoke dip, and it's a healthier recipe.
Okay, very good.
So it's a healthier, like what I like to say.
Yes, very good.
Healthier version.
And well, it has spinach and artichoke in it, so it has to be healthy to begin with.
You're getting spinach, right? So they always tell you should eat your spinach, so
That's
you're
right.
getting it in this
Make
dish.
it big and strong like Popeye.
Right. And
Okay.
we're going to use, we've got some grated Parmesan cheese, some garlic cloves, frozen spinach that has been thawed, artichoke hearts, fat-free sour cream, which that's one of the things that's making it healthier. We've got fat-free sour cream, part skim milk mozzarella cheese, which is more low-fat, and then it calls for 1 pack of fat-free cream cheese and then 1 pack of low-fat cream cheese. So they're not cutting out all the fat. You still get a little bit.
There'll still be some flavor.
It makes it healthier than if you were to just put the regular cream cheese in there. The same for the sour cream. And so we've got our oven preheated to 350 degrees. That's what it's going to bake at.
Okay.
And the first thing that we're going to do is combine 1.5 cups of mozzarella cheese. So I'm just going to throw that in there.
I love mozzarella.
I think everybody loves mozzarella cheese. Always makes everything better when you put cheese on it, right?
That's right. So this is a heated dish,
Yes.
right? Usually it's served warm.
It is. And I don't know about everybody else's family, but my family loves appetizers. I think we kind of look forward to that as much as we do the main dish. For Thanksgiving, that's what I took, was appetizers. So.
A healthy one? No comment, right?
Sure.
Well, for Christmas, you can take this one.
Right. And I actually did think about making this for Thanksgiving, so I might for Christmas.
Okay, good.
Because I've had it and it is good. And we're going to put in our 1/2 cup of sour cream, which I've just got the 8-ounce container here. So
8 ounces equals a 1/2 cup.
well, I'm going to put it in here for TV purposes, but we're going to measure it out. But it's actually a little bit over, but
If you know your measurements.
right. It's the same way with the cheese. You can, I measured it out, but that's something that you can eyeball and just leave the 1/2 cup in there because it's all going to get used eventually in the dish.
Okay. And that's our fat-free
That is
sour
exactly, that's fat-free sour cream. And then we are going to put in, we've got 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan cheese here, but we're going to put 2 tablespoons in it right now. So.
Okay. So some more cheese, that's good.
Right, nice and cheesy.
Love cheese.
So you've got 2 tablespoons in there right now. And then the next thing that we're going to put in is we're going to put in our, we're going to put some black pepper in there, 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper.
So it gives a little bit of a kick there.
Right, a little bit of a kick. Got that in there. And then we are going to put 3 garlic cloves in here. Everyone knows that anytime you get spinach artichoke dip, it's got that garlic flavor. So I'm going to put those in.
Yeah. Press them out, huh?
They're coming.
So often when you get the spinach, you can get a spinach dip.
Right.
I guess you can get an artichoke dip, but it's a lot better when you have the 2 of them combined together.
Yes, it's one of my favorite appetizers. So that was one of the reasons I was kind of drawn to the recipe, and I thought, well, if that's a healthier version, I want to see what it tastes like to see if I like it. That way I can have it more often. So
Exactly. That's right, you can eat more of it. We were saying beforehand, you were saying that the actual calories are only about 90 calories for a quarter
Yes,
cup.
for a fourth of a cup, it's
or
90.
Fourth of a cup. So that's not bad.
No, I mean, if you can stop yourself at a fourth of a cup or maybe even a half of a cup, it's good. But as Gary pointed out, he said, "What's that one chip?" I said, "Well, it depends on
what kind of dipper
what kind of
right?
dipper you are." For me, that would last more than one chip, so it all depends on the person, I guess.
Yes, if you go in and like take half the bowl, it might not.
There's
no help for you.
If you're a heavy dipper, I don't know what to tell you. And then we've got a can of artichoke hearts here, and you can buy those in a can, and they come out. That's what those look like. And we're going to just chop those up to stick in here. Just cut those up a little bit smaller. That way you're not getting big pieces of it in the
Now,
dip.
do people locally grow some artichokes? You know, is that like a local
I have
vegetable?
not seen any at the farmer's market, so I don't know if people grow them or not, but I know that's not something that they sell there.
Yeah.
I have not seen them at least.
Right. Yeah. Because usually it's in a dip that I really get, or sometimes in salads, you'll have it cut up in a salad. But otherwise, there's not a whole lot to do with an artichoke.
A lot of people don't like artichokes, or at least they don't think they like artichokes because they don't know that they eat them in dishes. So
Right.
I think it's one of those foods that gets a bad rap. Kind of like spinach. I think spinach gets a bad rap too, but when you put the two together, people like it. So
I like spinach.
I do too.
And so that was just frozen spinach. That was pretty simple, right? Mm-hmm. That's good. But as we said, you can, if you, in the summer you want to make it and somebody's growing spinach, you could use it that way too from the farmer's market or what have you. And if you find some artichokes, let us know.
Right.
Locally grown. It looks like a lot of artichoke, right?
It doesn't look like a lot whenever you
Gets
get them out of the can, but once you cut them up, there's quite a bit in there, and you can see those are juicy.
Yeah.
And those will come in, water, so you want to drain that off before you put them in there.
So you kind of just cubed or sliced them up a little bit.
They're still in big pieces, but not the whole thing. You
Right.
chop those up a little.
Yeah, you don't want to get a whole artichoke on your chip.
No. Which, if you're a heavy dipper, you might if
Exactly.
they were in there.
That could happen.
And then we're going to put in our blocks of cream cheese, and those are softened, so they have been getting softened.
Okay.
You want to make sure you let them do that, or you're not going to be able to stir them around to mix it.
And we're putting 2 cream cheeses in there. One's fat-free and one is
Low fat.
low fat.
One. And that one it says, fat-free, and it doesn't matter what brand you get. I was just looking for specifically the fat-free and the low fat. So you can use whatever you want as long as you get those. And a lot of the times around the holidays, cream cheese is something that's on sale, so that's a cheap ingredient.
And it is good.
It is good. It's a little too good. That's why we're using the fat-free and the low fat.
Yeah, making it a little more healthy.
And then we're going to put our spinach in, which this is frozen. I thawed this out. And spinach tends to be watery anyway, but especially when it's frozen. So you want to make sure that you drain that, kind of try to pat it dry with a paper towel as well as you can, because you don't want all of that liquid in your dip. And I'm going to cut this up some too before I stick it in there, just because this is whole leaf pieces that have been frozen. So that'll kind of just get it into smaller pieces.
You don't want to have a whole thing of
We
spinach when you're
don't want
chip.
big chunks. We want it spread out in our dish. So I'm just going to chop that up a little bit.
And it does add a nice green color for Christmas or, with the holidays. That's nice. And a good flavor.
And a good flavor. And we know spinach has all kinds of good vitamins and minerals, and it's good for us. So this is one way to sneak it in maybe with your kids to get them to try spinach.
Try it out. And as we said, we are going to be heating this dish as well because it is an appetizer that you serve warm. So if you are making this and taking it, should they actually prepare it and then heat it and at their house and then take it and heat it up at the location if they're taking it somewhere?
If I was going to take it, well, depending on how far you're going, you know, if you're going up the road to your neighbor's house, you could just put it maybe in a thermal bag and take that with you because that's going to stay heated. But if you are traveling a good distance with it, I would actually wait and cook it whenever you get there because it doesn't, I believe it's 30 minutes? Yeah, 30 minutes for it to cook. So it's not going to take, you could pop that in the oven once you get there and it's not going to take very long to cook.
Yeah.
And it makes it easier to transport when it's not hot.
Right. But you want to make sure if you do heat it up, it has to stay a certain temperature because we are talking about
you do want to make sure you keep
cheese and dairy products and stuff of that nature.
Which is another reason why it's just easier to fix it once you get there.
Right.
And you can make it the night before, you know, make it ahead of time, and that makes it a little bit easier because you can just get it and go. So now we've got our spinach in there, and we are just going to mix this up. Try to smooth out my cream cheese first before we mix it.
It is nice and soft.
That's why you want to leave that sitting out because if not, you're going to have a time trying to stir your cream cheese.
So we had our mozzarella and our Parmesan cheese in there. We have our cream cheese, 2 different kinds, the low fat and the half, and the less fat.
We have the fat-free and the low fat.
Right, fat-free and low fat.
And our fat-free sour cream.
And our fat-free sour cream, right. It's all good. Good and creamy. And then also the pepper was in there for taste as well.
And our garlic. Give it a little bit of a...
Right. We have our pepper and garlic to give it some kick.
Right.
A little zest, I guess. And then we'll mix it all together. And you say it takes about a half hour to cook. But before we get started, you had to preheat the oven to
350 degrees, yes.
350. And this is a less fattening option.
Less fattening.
For the holidays. So you can take this to your holiday celebration for Christmas, New Year's, whatever.
And I have tried it, and they will never know the difference. They won't know it's low fat. If you don't tell them, don't tell them.
Exactly.
Be your little secret.
That's right. They'll never know.
A lot of the times you tell people that you know, have used low fat or fat-free things, and they automatically don't want to try it, but they're good.
Just tell them we saw this great recipe on Central Kentucky Television. I had to bring it. Lizzie said it was good.
Has my stamp of approval. So now we've got that getting mixed up. And we're just going to put that in our casserole dish here.
And so do they say approximately how many people, depending on how big a dipper you are?
Depending on if you're a big dipper or a small dipper. It serves 22 people, and that's with the 4th cup serving. So it goes a long way.
Yeah. It's pretty good. Got it.
Just going to spread that out so it can cook even in our dish.
It looks good. And you can see how it's spread out with the spinach and the artichoke all over.
Which is why you want to cut those up. Just so you can get that all throughout.
Good mix for people.
And then once you get that in here and done, we're going to use the rest of our Parmesan cheese. And we are just going to sprinkle that on top of the dish.
The more cheese, the better.
The more cheese, the better. Exactly. And we're going to put the rest of our mozzarella cheese on the top.
Like I said.
Always looks better when you dip in there and there's some mozzarella cheese or cheddar cheese or whatever kind it is, you know.
Yeah, exactly, you know.
Get in there.
You know it's going to be good.
you'll trick them. They won't know it's low fat when you put the cheese on top.
That's right, but we also used a lesser fat version of the mozzarella, right?
Right, it's part skim, so it's less fat as well.
So we're just playing all kinds of tricks on people. I swear it's good.
Put the rest of that in there. Like I said, if you don't tell them, they'll never know it's low fat.
Right.
So then it looks nice and pretty, and we're just going to pop that in the oven for 30 minutes. And when it comes out, you can serve it with a variety of things. You can either use tortilla chips is what people traditionally use, but you can use the pita chips too. Those are a little bit less calories than the tortilla chips. You could use fresh vegetables with it, use it as a dip for that.
Okay.
So that would be even lower
More
fat
healthy option. Wow.
Or you could use crackers with it. So just whatever.
If you
whatever
use
you like.
vegetables, you could possibly eat the whole dish yourself.
Throughout the
holiday season.
Not in one sitting, Gary. Not in one sitting.
But again, this has been our low-fat version of spinach artichoke dip for your holiday celebrations. And if you want a copy of this recipe, they can contact you.
Yes.
Contact Lizzie here at the Marion County Extension Office or any of the extension offices throughout the state. So thank you very much.
Thank you, and I hope everyone has a happy holidays.
Yes, happy holidays. This has been Gary White for Central Kentucky Television.